this young boy, Yusuf alayhi salam, the son of a prophet, who was a son of a prophet, who was a son of a prophet, who was a son of a prophet. And he has a dream. What does he see in his dream? Does anybody know? What does Yusuf alayhi salam see in his dream? Yes. 11 stars and the sun and the moon prostrating towards them. Now he goes to his father, the Prophet Yaqub alayhi salam, and he says, I saw this in a dream. And his father says, well, this dream means something about you. Allah has selected you to be a prophet. Great. But his father gives him one important piece of advice. Don't share this with your brothers. Don't share this with your brothers because they will plot against you. The first lesson we learn from the father of Yusuf alayhi salam, from Abu Yusuf, is that not everything needs to be shared. Yaqub alayhi salam doesn't say they might get jealous. He says they will plot against you. Why? That's a pretty big accusation, right? Why does he say that? Why do you think he says that? He's a father, right? He knows his kids. He knows his boys. And he knows that jealousy, he's already seen the signs of the jealousy. So I'm a father of 3 kids. So I come into the kids' room. One of them has a bruise on the face. What happened? What happened? Oh, he took my cards. I didn't do this. He did. Oh. So he'd already seen the signs of jealousy, strong signs of jealousy. And he knew that he knew absolutely sure about his sons. Yusuf alayhi salam, he confided in his father and he got really good advice. What does that mean? So there's a few small things there. Yusuf alayhi salam calls his father, Ya Abati. Not Abi, which means my dad, my father, Baba. He says, Ya Abati, my beloved father. What does that show you about the relationship between Yusuf and his father already? Yeah. They're already pretty close. And his father already made him feel safe. You can share this with me. You can share your secrets with me, my son. I'm not going to harm you. So that's from a father's perspective. There's a lesson there for fathers to create that feeling of comfort and that feeling of that close relationship with your children so they can share with you. But that father's advice, from this interaction, we also learn about how to value our parents and how to treat our parents. The way he speaks to his father and the way he reveres his father and respects his father. And when his father gives him advice, he takes the advice. Now, mind you, at this stage, Yusuf alayhi salam, he's a young child. He's under the age of 10. But he already has the foundations of that good upbringing, that relationship with his parents. There's an important piece, which is that his father, when he tells him, your brothers will plot against you, he doesn't blame the brothers. He says, Inna shaytana lil insani aduwwun mubin. The shaitan is an enemy for human beings. He says, I don't blame your brothers. The shaitan is the one who's trying to split you apart. So blame the shaitan. Don't hate your brothers. Hate the shaitan. And that's really important because everybody in this room has beef with somebody in this dunya. Right? And one of the lessons from Yusuf we learn later on is how to forgive. But before you forgive, we first learn a more important lesson, which is don't blame that person. Only. There's other factors. How was their childhood? How were they psychologically affected? The shaitan's role in all of this. So don't put the blame solely on that person. Now, Yaqub says to Yusuf alayhi salam, Allah selected you. And he knows now, as a prophet, he knows his son is about to go on a whirlwind of a journey. He's about to go on a ride. And his last words to his son is, Inna rabbaka alimun hakim. Your Lord is all-knowing and all-wise. Why were these the last words that he said to his son? Yusuf alayhi salam doesn't see his father for 40 years after this sentence. Why was this the last words he said to his son?
He saw that after his father,
Yaqub.
he knew Prophet Yaqub,
Okay. Because Yaqub alayhi salam knows something's about to happen to Yusuf, his brothers are going to plot against him, he's going to come up against many opponents and obstacles in his life. He gives him this advice that Allah is always going to be with you. Anybody else? Any other thoughts? Why does he choose these as his last words to his son?
To instill like tawakkul,
To instill tawakkul. What is tawakkul?
faith in Allah.
I would say to trust Allah, to rely on Allah when everybody else lets you down. Any other thoughts? Yes?
Wisdom, all knowing, and
All wise.
all wise. So I think Yaqub is telling his Yusuf that if Allah chose you, then Allah will only inflict so much on you that you can handle.
Nice. Sheikh, you deserve Bismillah. Catch. I heard the Pakistan cricket team needs a wicket keeper. He said his father chose two names of Allah that are very relevant for what Yusuf alayhi salam is about to experience. Allah's name is Al-Alim. He knows what you're thinking, what's about to happen to you, what happened to you, how you're going to react. He knows everything. So He's only going to give you as much as you can handle. And that's where Allah's name Al-Hakim comes into play. Allah is the most wise. He knows how much to give you, when to give you, and how to give it to you. As a parent, for parents, this ayah is so important because it shows one of the greatest things a parent can give their child is teaching them who is Allah. Who is Allah from His names and from His attributes. If a young man knows who Allah is, that's going to be a solid source of strength for them their entire life. And that's Yusuf alayhi salam's therapy. That's his go-to. When he's in the dark well, in the dark prison, who does he talk to? He talks to Allah. He reaches out to Allah. He remembers the soft words of his father in his ear. Inna rabbaka alimun hakim. Allah knows what's about to happen to my son. Allah is wise.